Hello, everybody. Welcome. Great to see you all today. We're just going to give folks a minute while you come in from the waiting room. Thank you for joining us today. We are very pleased to have you. Excellent. Looks like we've got lots of folks joining us today. Perfect. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We have a few housekeeping things, so as people trickle in, they can get settled. But welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our event, the Innovation and Integrity in the Age of AI, What's Next for Turnitin Feedback Studio. My name is Gretchen Hansen. I am the Director of Product Marketing here at Turnitin, and I will be your host today. Um, We'll go ahead and go through a few housekeeping items while we're getting settled in. Just wanted to let you all know that you are muted during this call, but we would like it to be as interactive as possible. So please make use of your chat module and also the Q&A in order to ask us any questions that you'd like us to respond to. I have a team of folks here from Turnitin who are ready and able to respond to your questions. So if you put them into that Q&A panel, we will be happy to respond to as many as we can. Also, please introduce yourselves in the chat. We would love to see where everyone's calling in from today and have this be a really interactive session. This webinar is being recorded, and don't worry, we will go ahead and send you this recording after the event so that you can share it with your colleagues or other folks at your institution and share the information that you're learning today. We'll also be including some links to some of the key resources that we're going to go over today, so you'll have those in hand as well. So for today's agenda, we have a good lineup, I think. We're going to start by talking about some of the challenges that you're facing in education today and how we here at Turnitin are innovating our solutions in order to help address those. We'll be highlighting a new product that we're releasing called Turnitin Clarity. And then we're also going to talk about some new enhancements that are coming for Turnitin Feedback Studio. A lot of long requested enhancements are making their way to you, so we want to make sure that you're aware of what's coming. We also want to share how you can bring these innovations to your institution with as little friction and as seamlessly as possible. So we'll have some tools and resources for you at the end of the session. And we'll close it out with some discussion and questions. So if you have questions, please put them into the Q&A panel, and we will try to get to them in chat, but we also have some time at the end for live Q&A. So with that, let me go ahead and introduce our speaker today. Marlon Martiner is our speaker today. He is a seasoned EdTech leader with deep expertise in product management, AI, and student success technology. As a VP of Product Management at Turnitin, Marlon drives innovation and academic integrity, leading the team behind Turnitin Feedback Studio, including the Similarity Report, grading and feedback tools, integrations, and new innovations like Turnitin Clarity. With over 15 years in EdTech, Marlon has held various leadership roles in the industry, shaping impactful learning technologies that support educators and institutions worldwide. Marlon holds a master's degree in educational technology and instructional design from NYU and is a passionate advocate for leveraging technology to enhance education. So we're very pleased to welcome Marlon today. And with that, Marlon, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Gretchen, for that warm introduction. And really thanks to all of you for making the time to join us today. So as Gretchen said, I'm Marlon Rutiner. I'm the Vice President of Product at Turnitin. And I have so many exciting things to share about how Turnitin has been innovating over the last 2 years. The driving force for this innovation is a response to the massive and rapid changes we've recently seen in education due to the impact of generative AI. I've been working in ed tech for close to 20 years now, and I feel like in that time, every few years, a new technology will come along that is supposed to revolutionize education. I remember wikis and live streaming video and MOOCs and virtual reality. And, they all added a lot to the landscape. But I really believe generative AI is the first technology to come along that's really going to usher in truly substantive change. And I'm going to guess that a lot of you feel the same. So, to understand how this technology is changing education, Turnitin surveyed and met with thousands of educators and students and academic administrators. And our goal was to better understand how people were responding to this change, how people felt about its use, and ultimately how we could help. And what was really interesting is that we got, as many questions as answers. So we got questions like, how much student use of generative AI is too much? Is AI going to hamper students' development of critical thinking skills? Should I allow AI to be used on an assignment? And, when should I allow it? And really tellingly, as time went on, we saw fewer and fewer people ask us how to stop it, and more asking how it can be used responsibly and effectively. One interesting finding was, there's this sentiment that students and educators are at odds over the use of AI. And really, our research showed that this wasn't the case. 78% of all administrators, educators, and students feel positive about the impacts that AI is having on education. While at the same time, 95% of administrators, educators, and students think AI is being misused by students in some capacity. And both those things can be true. And it's really what makes it so difficult to have the important discourse about how to incorporate AI in education. Students want to use AI. They don't always understand the limitations, the consequences, the proper use. Students are also very concerned, their peers are misusing generative AI in ways that could put, those peers at an academic advantage or them at an academic disadvantage. And educators face this difficult challenge of ensuring students are truly learning how to process and evaluate information in meaningful ways for themselves. So ChatGPT is nearing 2.5 years old, which is a really long time for students. They've been able to experiment. They've seen their peers use it productively and unproductively. They know how tempting generative AI can be as a shortcut. 64% of them are worried about the use of AI in education, and 59% are worried about what this technology really means for them long term. They know they need to acquire AI skills, but they don't really know what those skills are. They realize that they need to be able to think critically and solve problems just to be successful in life. They know AI may not be helping with that. Further, they need to find ways to distinguish themselves from AI, and distinguish themselves with skills that employers are looking for both now and in the future. And they worry about that. Among educators, these concerns are echoed as well. The line between a student using AI to enhance their learning and cheating is simply unclear. 29% of our responding educators felt that partial use of AI is cheating, while another 29% of educators felt that partial use was acceptable. And then you had 32% that just fell somewhere in between. And as I'm sure you can all imagine, those answers vary by grade level, by discipline, by institution, even by the goal of the course or the assignment. So really, it's clear as mud. Being an educator on the front lines of this change is really tough. And one thing that stands out when you talk directly with instructors is just how uncomfortable conversations with students about whether AI was used appropriately can be. There's the stress of students not knowing if they'll be accused of using AI, while at the same time, instructors are losing faith that what's submitted is original. And it's a lot to handle. What everyone does agree on, well, most people agree on, is that while the use of AI is a tough issue and people are all, they're all over the spectrum on what's acceptable, 86% of respondents agreed that it's the responsibility of the institution to educate students on how to use AI responsibly. So I want to kind of go back to that first number I shared. 78% of all respondents feel the impacts of AI on education will be positive. So how do we get from where we are to that optimistic future? And this is where Turnitin has been innovating. We're looking to provide customer-driven solutions for these very pressing challenges. Challenges like ensuring academic integrity with the rise of tools that make it so tempting for students to take another path. Um, Challenges like incorporating new technologies in assignments so students can learn to use AI both effectively and responsibly. And of course, freeing up educator time so they can spend it on personalized feedback and collaboration with students. And it's with this background and these challenges in mind that I'm really proud to talk about Turnitin's new offering, Turnitin Clarity. When Turnitin started detecting AI about 2 years ago, just after the release of ChatGPT, we began hearing how we needed a tool that can maintain trust between students and educators while encouraging students to use generative AI productively and responsibly. Turnitin was Turning Clarity was born from this sentiment, and its features were developed in ongoing partnership with educators. We've led research activities going back to August 2024 with over 40 institutions in both higher ed and secondary. And with each round of that research, we iterated on the Clarity design and features as we learned more. So let's talk about this new solution. With Turnitin Clarity, students can access and tackle their writing assignments all within their institution's learning management system. This includes access to the assignment's instructions and rubric, and a composition space where they can write and edit their submission up until the due date. Once that final version is submitted, students can confidently demonstrate to their instructor that their submissions are original and representative of their learning and work. Not only are we creating a one-stop experience for students to compose and submit their work, Clarity also gives them the opportunity to learn to use AI tools responsibly, alongside the guidance of their instructor. When Turnitin Clarity's own AI writing assistant features enabled by an educator, students can use AI as a foundational writing assistant, empowering them to integrate this technology in a responsible way into their work. And after a student's work has been submitted, educators are then able to view their student's entire drafting process, such as pasted text, typing patterns, construction time, draft history, not just the final submission. They can see the whole story behind the submission and how the final outcome took shape. We've talked to countless instructors about how they were requesting students' version histories from Google Docs and reports from other applications. With Turnitin Clarity, these insights are immediately available to them, not only to kickstart constructive, trust-building conversations between students and educators, but also alleviating the need to challenge the authenticity of the work in the first place. Writing history can be viewed through a simple playback function, along with easy to interpret reporting. When enabled, educators can see where and how students use the AI assistants and provide guidance based on that usage. And we know educators have a lot on their plates, and in the age of generative AI, this workload only seems to be getting heavier. We don't want Clarity to add to that burden. So for example, early feedback prompted us to build additional features such as a summary of how the AI was used by the student, so they didn't have to read every prompt and response. What's more, Clarity leverages all of the integrity checks already available in the Turnitin Feedback Studio. This gives educators a single view of all the integrity insights on a student's submission, from similarity and citation checking to AI writing detection for those who have access to Turnitin originality. And I could pretty much go on talking about Clarity all day. However, I think a demonstration video from Charlotte Perry Houts, our lead product manager on Clarity, shows just how powerful this new offering is and why we're so proud to bring it to you.
Hi there. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Clarity, Turnitin's new student writing product that promotes responsible use of AI. Clarity is a new assignment type that provides instructors with transparency into their students' writing process and enables students to access AI-powered writing feedback that's designed with education in mind. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the end-to-end workflow today. Let's start by diving into the student experience. For this assignment type, students compose their work directly in the Clarity editor, where they have a one-stop shop for all their assignment details and writing assistance features. As you can see in this editor, I've already started working on my essay about sea turtles, and because this is a cloud-based editor, my work is always being saved automatically. I've got my assignment details here in the side panel, including instructions and a link out to my rubric, and I can submit my work directly from the editor as well. Hopefully you notice a feature that I'm really excited about, which is our new AI assistant designed to help students with their writing without doing the work for them. Clarity's AI tool is designed to be a helpful writing partner and not to detract from the student's critical thinking and learning process. Students can ask for feedback on their entire paper or on specific selections of text. And they have the option to write their own prompts here or to use the suggested prompts that are provided within the tool. Using suggested prompts pre-fills the open chat field with the detailed prompt, which is a practical example of effective AI interaction and fostering AI literacy because it allows students to learn how to prompt effectively to get the best result. Now let's go ahead and send this prompt off to see what feedback we get on the draft. The feedback that's provided is going to be based on the assignment instructions and the rubric provided by the instructor. So it makes sure that the guidance is not only helpful, but also directly aligned with the assignment's objectives. You'll notice that these aren't prescriptive fixes or changes, but rather they're helpful pieces of feedback that you could imagine a peer or an instructor or a TA giving after reading through my draft. Now, if the student tries to take some shortcuts, can you rewrite my whole paper for me, please? Like asking the tool to write their entire paper. The AI responds with something like, let's take a step back, and guides the student back to the core of their own thinking and analysis. You can see it kind of gives me some positive affirmations and offers me support in continuing my assignment. I think this feature is going to be a game changer for students because it provides real-time support based on their assignment's unique guidelines and ultimately fosters a deeper mastery of the writing process. Let's jump over to the instructor view. The writing report that results from the students' work in Clarity makes it really easy for instructors to understand the student's writing process, including a summary of how the student used AI. As you can see, the report provides a detailed replay of the student's writing process, and you can easily pause that, you can change the speed, and you can pinpoint exactly where the content was added, pasted, or edited. And you can see pasted text events shown here on the timeline in purple and also highlighted in the side panel. So this is every block of text that was pasted from an external source while the student was writing. And we're even identifying when that text came from a similarity source and specifying when it came from our own AI assistant. So this report makes it super easy to see the student's drafting process, to identify key moments, and to identify where text came from. Now I'll pause this, and to see how the student used AI while they were working, the report provides this concise summary of how they interacted with the tool and how they incorporated the feedback. You can also see the chat interactions categorized here, and the full chat history is also available in its entirety. We're really excited for the upcoming release of Clarity, and we're looking forward to continuing to evolve this tool with the input of our community of educators and students. I hope you're as excited as we are.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for that great demo. Um, so in summary, Turning Clarity was developed to strengthen the relationship between the student and instructor. Like you, we want students to focus on doing their best without fear of repercussions or being unfairly assessed. It also enables educators to help students incorporate AI responsibly while also validating the originality of the student's work. And lastly, it's built right into the Turnitin Feedback Studio with integrity insights and grading and feedback tools all in one place. I can see from the chat and questions that Clarity's already creating a lot of discussion about Turnitin's approach to innovation. I'm equally excited to share everything we've been doing over the last 2 years to modernize the Turnitin Feedback Studio, our all-in-one solution for integrity, feedback, and grading. With a reinvigorated focus on the needs of instructors and learners, our latest release establishes not just an enhanced experience, but a new foundation for rapidly delivering customer-driven enhancements. This new Feedback Studio journey started with last year's delivery of an updated similarity report. Over the years, customers have surfaced a variety of areas where Turnitin could improve the report. Mainly, it can be challenging to explain the similarity percentage to students, and it can be difficult to interpret and identify the most important matches. Among the most significant enhancements that Turnitin implemented was a new match categories feature, making the report easier to interpret and help pinpoint integrity insights in student papers, saving educators time and effort in interpreting results. Our goal is that by specifically identifying problem areas and breaking down this percentage into discrete pieces, it can improve legibility and free up more time for instructors to focus on meaningful and tailored feedback to the student's specific needs. This update also adds improved support for assistive technologies, especially screen readers, for a more inclusive user experience. The new Turnitin Feedback Studio that was built atop the new report's foundation. We've completely revamped the way instructors leave comments for students. Turnitin's updated grading workspace empowers educators with more flexible ways to deliver timely and prioritized feedback to increase student engagement. And really, the goal is to make the assessment process faster and more consistent for educators, helping accelerate feedback loops and providing more personalized learning experiences for their students. So I want to go over a bunch of these enhancements and really tell you how. First, we've moved our comments to the margin. So with this keeps feedback directly alongside the paper. Instructors and students can now view the submission so instructors can view the submission while they're leaving feedback. Students can view the submission while they're reviewing their feedback. This makes the process much more efficient and engaging. One of my personal favorite new features is the ability for instructors to pin specific comments to ensure that the most important feedback is highlighted and emphasized for students. For instructors who leave lots of feedback and lots of comments about grammar or the thesis statement or about supporting arguments, providing them with a method to raise the visibility of key comments is so important. This doesn't just foster more engagement with feedback, it helps students make more targeted, impactful revisions. And the last thing I want to note here is, we're working hard to give students access to their feedback when and where it's most convenient for them. Our new mobile strategy is to create a modern, responsive mobile experience to allow students to access their reports and their feedback on any mobile device. We're also working on making grading and feedback for instructors work from their tablets for greater convenience as well. And really, the beauty of this approach is our ability, Turnitin's ability, to continue to improve the experience without anyone needing to download or update new mobile applications. Some other improvements. We've enhanced our grading options with some long requested features, such as ranged rubrics and decimal grading. These features enable educators to assign more precise and nuanced grades, reflecting subtle differences in student performance while providing students with more accurate and detailed feedback on their performance, giving them a clearer understanding of their strengths and areas for growth. And we redesigned our rubric and quick mark creation and management tools, making it easier to create and find favorites while archiving those that they're just using less of. We also enable instructors to more easily take a particular comment and associate it with a rubric criteria, making it clear for the student how they can improve in meaningful and grade-affecting ways. And one of our biggest motivations, and that was for the similarity report as well as the new grading and feedback. One of our biggest motivations when taking on this update was to ensure we can continue to provide best-in-class, inclusive, accessible experiences to ensure every student is empowered to unlock their full learning potential. We've made significant investments in accessibility, including an updated document viewer that's optimized for screen readers, improvements for visual and high contrast support, and structured keyboard navigation. And this is something that you'll see in all of our features moving forward, accessibility by design. Um, so yet again, I'm going to turn this over for a quick demo, this time from Mark Rickson, as I believe seeing the improvements in our grading and feedback tools is far more impactful than just, me talking about them.
Hi, I'm Mark Rickson, the Principal Product Manager for Turnitin Feedback Studio. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to show several of the enhancements of the new Turnitin Feedback Studio experience. All of these features were informed by customer requests, by instructor and student research, and leverage industry best practices in providing feedback. One of the first things you'll notice is how instructor feedback has been organized in the margin. Improving visibility for the instructor when grading and for students when engaging with their feedback. To highlight the most important feedback for students, instructors can now pin comments they feel are most critical for students to focus on and address. With a single click for the instructor, pinned comments will now be prioritized for the student in a summarized list. They can easily identify what feedback the instructor deems most important for their attention and development. When it comes to grading, the new commenting system has also been enhanced to allow linking comments directly to rubric criteria. Our research with students made it very clear that they are most motivated to act on feedback when they understand its direct impact on their grade. Making these associations allows teachers to pinpoint specific examples in a student's work that affected the rubric criteria scores, giving students a greater understanding on where they have excelled in their work and where they need to improve. Those of you familiar with our current grading and feedback experience may have also noted we introduced a series of other enhancements. A new scoring rubric that supports range scores within performance levels, support for decimal grades, and many improvements to quick mark creation and management. For example, the use of quick mark colors.
Awesome. So we just showed a lot of enhancements to the grading and feedback experience. I also want to mention that we're updating the foundations of our assignment workflows for simplicity, and also to rapidly support future functionalities. We've created a new streamlined system for assignment creation, rubric creation, quick mark management, the new submission list, where instructors get an overview of all the submissions, and the integrity flags and insights. That's been enhanced as well, providing new tools for assignment management, such as the ability to see the AI writing score alongside the similarity score, support for extensions to help manage students who need accommodations, and several features to sort and filter and search for those of you that deal with really large class sizes. And all of this is really just the tip of the iceberg. I want all of our TFS customers to get the value of these new innovations. And I know many of you want to know what else is coming? What else are we working on? So, to that end, I'm really happy to spread the word about our recently launched TFS roadmap. This gives an opportunity for you to see exactly what we're doing right now to improve the feedback studio, where we're headed next, and what we're in the planning stages on for delivering later. And it wouldn't be like me to not give a sneak peek into some of these items. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Um, Starting with audio and video feedback. This is in development right now, as we want to make it easy for instructors to highlight the messages that really need to be seen or heard to help the student improve. Video summaries offer a deeper level of personalization and connection for feedback that we really know through our research students find far more engaging and impactful. Looking slightly further down the road, we're also at work on ways to use generative AI to take time-consuming tasks for instructors and streamline them. So, for example, later this year, we will let instructors choose to have AI auto-summarize their feedback, taking all of those rich, personalized comments and suggesting how they might organize that information for the student as a summary, by rubric criteria, opportunities for improvement, or simply labeled sections. And I don't want to talk about innovation without also talking about everything that we've done for Turnitin originality and what we continue to do. So just having it as part of the new report, it makes it really easy to switch back and forth from similarity detection to AI writing detection. Since the launch of our AI writing detection capabilities, we've been making continuous improvements to ensure it stays reliable and keeps pace with the constantly changing world of AI writing tools. So, we launched paraphrasing detection to provide educators with additional insights into AI misconduct. We expanded our capabilities to include Spanish and Japanese, with more additional languages currently underway. And this is a constantly evolving battleground. There are people out there profiting by making AI detection harder. Most recently, we've seen the rise of AI bypassers, also called humanizers. So we're really happy to announce that we're looking at a fall release to better detect and identify those modifications as well. All right. So that was a lot about innovation. And what I want to refocus the rest of this webinar on is I really want you to get the most out of everything Turnitin is developing. And it's really important to us that adopting updates like the new Feedback Studio and new innovative solutions like Turnitin Clarity is dead simple, to provide to your faculty, to your students. All of these updates come with thorough resources for change management. And most importantly, enabling these updates is fully in your institution's control. The way we do that, Turnitin is leveraging OneEdTech's LTI 1.3 standard for future development. So all our integrations, our new focus is on the LTI 1.3 standard, and it brings a higher level of security and privacy for institutions, enhanced functionality for improved integrations, and it really lets us work more closely with our LMS partners to bring updates to all of you faster. And these updates they go beyond new innovations and they goes beyond features. It gives us a single path to continually deliver to you quality of life updates and bug fixes and accessibility updates and deliver them to all of our customers at once without them needing to reinstall custom integrations or do any kind of integration version management. Those of you who are already on a learning management system that supports LTI 1.3, your administrator can enable the new Feedback Studio for you when the time is right for your institution. It's available as an option in your accounts right now. For those of you who are using the Turnitin web interface for student submissions and class management, or even for testing purposes, again, your Turnitin administrator can enable the new Feedback Studio right now. Administrators have the control. They can control if you move to the new experience, stay completely on the classic experience, or even give instructors the choice of which one to use. And for those institutions that try other Turnitin add-ons like Turnitin Clarity or Paper to Digital, which supports handwritten assessments, administrators can choose when to make those tools available as well with the click of a checkbox. So we fully understand institutions need time to manage change, to train staff and students, and Turnitin is committed to putting that control in your hands. All I ask, my ask of all of you is to go try the update. It's available now. And when I say we're doing whatever we can to make these transitions as simple and easy for you as possible, we've prepared a lot of new resources and documentation to help introduce all of these new features to your instructors and students. They're all available for you on our resource center. And for those institutions that are still planning their upgrade to LTI 1.3, We have very robust documentation available. This includes guides, videos, webinars. We also have technical implementation consultants available to help with any questions or unique challenges that you may have at your institution. Just reach out to your account manager and they can help guide you. So again, I invite all Turnitin customers to check out these updates and resources. When you're ready, your administrator can enable the new standard assignment type as the default for your instructors. I will say that on July 15th, we're going to automatically switch to the new assignment type by default, the new TFS, new Turnitin Feedback Studio. Do not worry. If that timeline doesn't work for you, your administrator can easily opt out of the update. They've already received multiple emails from us telling them exactly how. You can stay on the classic experience. If you're not on an LTI 1.3 integration or using Turnitin's web access, nothing's going to change for you on July 15th either. When you're able to update to the LTI 1.3 integration, everything will be set and ready for you. It'll just be ready to go. All right. So that was a lot. Um, Gretchen, I'm going to hand the mic back over. I'm going to take a drink of water and start looking at all the feedback that's been coming in. So take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Marlon. That was a ton of stuff. The chat has been very active. Lots of questions coming through. We are still trying to answer many of them. So thanks for your patience as we go out and find all these answers and bring them back to you. I want to see how everyone's feeling. This was a lot of really exciting stuff that Marlon shared with you. So I want to run a quick poll here. Get my poll going. All right, so this is a poll. We want to find out what was anything interesting to you today? Is there something we can reach out to you and talk to you about a little bit more that grabbed your interest? So go ahead and enter in any options that you want to hear a little bit more about, and your account management team will reach back out and see how they can help answer any questions that this might have generated for you. Great, it's good to see some answers coming in. That's awesome. Just let it go for a few minutes. Wonderful. Oh, this is exciting. It's always exciting to see the results come in live. I don't know if you guys get to see that or have to share it with you, but it's kind of fun to see how it goes. All right, a little bit more than 50% of you have gone ahead and participated, so get your last tick marks in now, and then I will go ahead and share the results with everyone so you can see see the results. Looks like lots of interest in Turnitin Clarity, which was not too surprising. That's been very active in the chat and the questions as well. Always interest in AI writing and AI paraphrasing. You know, as an emerging technology, this is something we're always trying to learn more about. I'm in the same boat as you, so we can reach out about all of that. So really great. I'm glad this was, you know, piquing your interest. That's wonderful to see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. And so now we are at the Q&A portion of our session today. While we're doing that, I will go ahead and post a couple links into the chat, but we have a couple questions that have come in, and want to just, Marlon, if you could just expand on this a little bit more, I think it would be helpful. We had some questions around the student composition space. So can we really get students to use this different environment to write in, and what is that? What's the thinking behind that?
Sure. I mean, it's a great question. I think as when we originally started our research with instructors and students, this was a big question. Like, could we get students to use something that wasn't Microsoft Word or wasn't Google Docs for doing their assignments? And what we're finding is that, these major editors, they're all including AI to help their customers be more productive. Not students, but, all of their customers. And then you have the major browsers, and they're allowing plugins to do the same. And all of these additions not only add clutter and distraction, but also temptation to sort of shortcut the learning process. And what Clarity is doing, on the other hand, is really just trying to keep things simple. The interface is uncluttered, it's intuitive, it's familiar. From the student's perspective, writing within Clarity, it just enables them to focus on their writing without worrying about proving the originality of their work, having to worry about, losing out to another student who may have used AI tools. And the integrated AI assistant, it's controlled by the instructor. They're the deciders about whether or not to give the students access to it. So, you have this situation where students can learn how to integrate AI in their writing without any unexpected consequences or misuse accusations. And I think that's really appealing to students, in this day and age.
What about offline editing for people in rural areas with internet connectivity or just, preferring to work offline? How does that work?
It's a good question. We get that question a lot. As of now, it's not going to be supported at launch. As a cloud-based editor, that especially one that incorporates AI writing assistance, it just can't be used offline and be able to offer those features. I think it's definitely something we'll look at for the future. But as of right now, AI assistance simply requires a connection.
Mhm. Yep, makes sense. Great. And then just one other clarifying question about Clarity and its licensing. So is Clarity an additional license, or how does it fit together with Feedback Studio?
So you do need Feedback Studio for Clarity. It's an all-in-one solution. However, Clarity is an add-on to the Turnitin license. So if you're interested, you want to learn more, you should reach out to your Turnitin account manager about Clarity licensing for your institution. If you don't know your Turnitin account manager, I'm sure your Turnitin administrator can help.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. One other question I want to get to, and that's really about this timing. So you mentioned that the this upgrade is coming July 15th. Well, can you just talk a little bit more about what if you're not ready to update and bring this on?
Yeah, I really tried to hammer this home. Um, you know, it's completely fine. There's no forced upgrade. There's no planned end of life date for the classic experience. Continue to use what works best for you. Obviously, we encourage everyone to make their plans for moving forward. The new workflows and product enhancements we discussed, they're only being added to the updated experience. So this is really where future development will be focused. And it's obviously a future development you'll be able to see through our roadmap. You can start testing that new experience now with no need to fully switch over. Web access works really well for that testing. One other thing I wanted to mention. So, most major LMSs, they support LTI 1.3. There may be a couple that aren't quite there yet. And obviously, they're all working on this too. This is the industry standard moving forward.
Perfect. Okay, I think all of the rest of the questions are pretty specific. So we're going to let you reach out to your account managers for additional information on that. But I did want to make sure you noted the links that I put into the chat. We have here the Resource Center, which has just a ton of information for instructors, for students, going over all these new features in Feedback Studio, additional information about Turnitin Clarity, about AI, also about how to upgrade your integration to an LTI 1.3 compliant integration. So this is really your one stop spot to get more information about these upgrades that are coming. And then the other link that I put in there for you is the roadmap. So follow along. There are going to be a lot of great features that are coming out here really in quick succession. So stay tuned to that page as well. We are going to go ahead and wrap up our session at this time. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Today's session was really focused on the solutions that Turnitin has for our classroom assignments, looking at Feedback Studio, at Turnitin Clarity, at Originality, but we also offer solutions for your researchers and for your high stakes programs. So if you are supporting those efforts at your institution, you want to learn more, we're innovating in those spaces as well. So please reach out to your account manager and let us know how we can help you know what's going on in those areas. I will be sending you an email with links to today's recording, as well as the links to the Resource Center and the roadmap. And we will be reaching out to those of you who answered in our poll for specific follow-up information. So thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. We hope this was helpful, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll speak soon. Take care, everyone.